Hey guys, welcome to the first edition of my co-hosted show with my co-host Susan Esayian. Oh my God, I said it right this time, right?
Just about right. Esayian.
Oh my God, it's so
It's one of those things, and I know you've known me forever, but we never say each other's last names. The harder you try on my name, the more difficult it becomes.
How do
So
you-
don't try.
What?
Esayian.
Esayian. Esayian. Jesus Christ. I'm so sorry. Shelf Talk.
Here's start that intro over again.
Welcome to Shelf Talk. This kind of came to me when we were doing the fivesome, as somebody called it, our podcast show for CMA. And it, like, why I wanted to do this is like, I interview people and we have conversations all the time, but I miss having a conversation with another merchandiser and we're just talking about shit, like life, like what things we saw, like display. And when it dawned on me, I'm like, Susan would be the perfect host because we know each other really well. We both have strong backgrounds in merchandising and design. We work together. And we both have been buyers and merchandisers in retail as well as wholesale gifts. So as a well-rounded host, you were my first choice. And I'm grateful you took me up on this offer. This will be a once a month show.
Easy. Yeah, this was such an easy yes for me. You brought it. I'm like, yeah, dude, now start.
Like, I'm so excited. This will be a once a month. I think we looked at it yesterday. My assistant, who you'll meet along the way, Danielle, she's in the Philippines. She and I kind of mapped out stuff. It will be the last Friday of the month. Some cases will be the 5th episode of the month. Some cases it will be the 4th. It just depends on how the lineup goes. But ideally, it's an additional add-on. And what we're going to do, which she's still working on the kinks, is we are going to have a tab on the Retail Whore Podcast website that you can submit questions to us. Because I thought, what better time to be able to ask us questions about merchandising? And, obviously we're not going to have photos to back it up, but if you guys like, hey, we have a question about our window, how do we get more sunlight in? Or how do we, if your window has too much sun, like what's a good way that you're not to display stuff that you're not ruining everything in it? Like, tell us more about the topic. So whatever your question is, send it on in. We'll let you know when the tab is live. Right now, she's working on the back of house, but that's ideally the idea of this little show that we're doing. And there's no interviewing. It's just merchandisers chit chat. And my dog's brought you to the program.
All right, that's okay. My dog is out of the house because we all know that Mavis likes to interrupt anytime I'm talking.
The show. I mean, honestly.
The sneaky toy.
She's the star of the show. We talking off camera. Dave, my husband, for those of you who don't know, I don't talk about it a lot. Dave's super cheap. Love my husband, but he's also super resourceful in being super cheap. And our old house, we had a big double backyard, and Dave had fashioned horse trough, like a 8-foot horse trough, into a working jacuzzi. So it would get up to 104 degrees. It was the most amazing thing to sit out in our backyard, have a glass of wine, sit in the tub at sunset, talk about, that's how we used to unwind our days.
Yeah.
And now we're here and it's like we have super small, it's not even a backyard, it's more like a deck. And we're trying to make it as like comfy, cozy, like home escape as possible. Well, Dave last night found this insane double person's white. It's like a white bathtub. It's
huge.
I think a home bathtub.
Yeah. It looks like one of those like really fancy freestanding home bathtubs.
But this couple, I guess, is moving. So they had a double door cabinet that all the equipment was in, and then tub. And then it also came with an outdoor shower with a cedar, whatever it is, stopping or whatever the fuck you call it.
Yeah, I know what you're
Stand on that and the shower goes over you. And we found this whole thing. He just brought it home and I'm so excited. He's setting it up right now. Like, I can't even tell you I'm so excited.
I am so excited for you. That sounds awesome.
Touch base. Let's talk about a little bit about, we've been home. You guys, if you listen to that podcast, about the CMA, we've all, we have technically been home, I think, for about a month. How is life at home now? Do you still feel like you just walked off the edge? Are you settling in?
No, I feel so much better. I got to, it's funny. I was talking to Josh, my husband, and we were chatting about that episode. And I was like, I was in such a weird headspace when we filmed that.
Yeah.
It was so close to having finished after such a long month. And I feel so much better headspace way. It takes a time, and, sometimes it's a quick recovery, and other times this month was all right. We're just let February be over, and now we're rolling back in, and I feel a lot more human, a little bit more closer to who I am, and, less beat up.
Are you working on projects in your house? I know, because you just moved into your home that you own. A
small home. Yeah. So we moved into so we've owned the home for about a little over 2 years. We moved into the home just last September. And officially living in it. We started working on it last August with refinishing floors, and it's an old 1915 house in Savannah, Georgia. I love it. And we are just slowly creeping through projects here and there. And we just got some drywall done. We actually paid someone to do drywall. I mean, Dave would not allow that, I'm sure, but there was a point where we looked at the walls. We're like, this is much too nuanced for us to deal with. So we paid someone to come in. He did a phenomenal job. He actually used to live in LA. He's one of those guys who I imagine you would have known somewhere. He was he's our age, LA skater boy. He was still very,
I love it.
I know. He's lived out here for 7 years, and now he does drywall. I'm like, all right, a fantastic guy. But it sort of has boosted our morale for getting things done in the house. And our main goal is getting into the upstairs bedroom and getting that finished. So I've been sanding drywall off the ceiling, sanding the ceiling just to prep it, painting pretty soon. And then we have this vintage fireplace with the tile surround that someone had painted over. So I've just finished getting the paint off of all that. So some very rewarding projects are happening.
I'm so envious. I ride the line of wanting a new house and then a fixer upper. And we lived in an old house, not old, old in the sense of I think it was late 60s.
Right.
And those houses get so beat up, and it's so hard to get them where they feel like they're newer or clean. Mm-hmm. And the baseboards are impossible. So when we moved into this house, it's brand new. So it's really just about, I've realized, I will say this now, I thought I wanted a new house. I don't want a new house. It's I want something that feels newer or has been redone and that has character of an old house.
It's always hard with a brand new house. You almost feel bad doing something to it because everything's just been done.
Yeah.
It's so new, and you're like, there's a good and a bad.
Yeah, there's nothing to do to it, which is just a matter of making it feel finally my office actually feels cozier. This was the dining room, but I got an arched cabinet.
Oh, you got the arched cabinet.
It was so cheap, but it's so much smaller. It's the wall now. It's I have all this space about them all. Oh, damn. Okay, I got to figure out what to put about it. But I wanted an arched cabinet so I could have clear doors, glass doors on it, and I could showcase my old Crocs that I have collected.
Yeah.
And one thing I will say that it's a dark cabinet, and some of the Crocs are dark, so you don't even fucking see them. Okay, didn't really. And for a designer, for a merchandiser, I don't how.
Because it's weird when it comes to your own home. How much time I spend debating a paint color at home. Of course, I'm also talking with Josh about it too. So when we get to my office, when I finally can start working on my office, which happens right after we finish the bedroom, which I'm so excited about, I don't have to compromise on a paint color, or I'm not saying I'm compromising, but I want to have a discussion.
Yeah.
So if it's going to be painted pink, which it probably will be, It's my color choice.
Pink.
Well, it sounds weird, but not millennial pink. I'm sort of, oh, wait.
Hold up. What is millennial pink?
Okay. Millennial pink is what they were calling the most recent, I say most recent, let's say like last year and a few years beyond that shade of pink that was happening a lot. Very blush, very blush.
Like the talking out of turns.
Even lighter than talking out, the lightest end of talking out of turn or the lightest end. So they were kind of referring to that as millennial pink. And now I'm seeing a lot of pinks, which I love. And actually some of them you used at CMA.
That moonlight.
That are a little bit more dusty rose, which God forbid we go to the 80s, but I'm not going to the 80s. But there is I got my nails done recently and it kind of rolls towards a mauve, but not a mauve. Like I don't want purple. I'm not doing purple. I'm not doing purple. And it's, I don't know. There's some, Farrow and Ball does a pink called Setting Plaster. It almost has terracotta in it.
Ooh.
It's a really pretty. So we're going to play around with that. I can't say it's going to work, but that's sort of where I'm sitting. Yeah, no. And it has everything to do with the light that comes in the room.
Yeah. We did not. That's the one thing I didn't do is paint because we, for the first time, have a management company managing this.
Yeah.
So it means like every hole, every paint color, like even the wallpaper I did, the peel and stick, that obviously has to come off, and it's like that better fucking peel off. It's like I've already started like, or should I test it? Like,
it'll be fine. It'll be fine.
But it's not. That's one thing I wish. Like our entry, I wish we could paint it like an ink blue, but that's the idea of not just the holes, but the idea of painting all that. It's like, no.
Well, when it's not your home.
Yeah.
That's the exact thing. And I said, well, this is, yeah. And so actually I'm in my husband's office because it's the best little office. And this is just primer behind me, but this is the color that his office is going to be, which it probably doesn't translate on video screen, but it's called Sir Drake. It's Magnolia, the Joanne, and it's
like gray, right?
It's like a slate blue. Actually. Yeah. Which it's like hard to, I don't know. It's a cool, there you go. You can kind of see it at the tilt. Yeah. It's going to be that color.
Good masculine color.
Yes. Cause he's a guy.
We kind of touched on this, like where we talk about like when we get home from these jobs about like how you're in your own head, and you touched on it a little bit in the CMA interview. Mm-hmm. It's hard to explain to retailers. We are embedded in a job for like a month and we eat, sleep, and drink that. Like you don't have days off. You don't have like a life. It's not like, hey, let's go, farmer's market or whatever.
Yeah.
Go walk around somewhere. You don't have that. So you kind of get in this weird bubble and then you leave. And part of the bubble is you're now like, you're starting to second guess some of the things you did. Oh, should we have done this color? Mm-hmm. It's not based on any reactions that we've seen. It's not based on anything other than us starting to go over things again in our head.
Yeah.
And it's the weirdest. I can't even explain how weird that transition is. And it's nice to be on the other side of it now. Now for me, it's like, I don't know about you, but I start to get like, now I'm all the way back out here in Oregon. You're all the way in Savannah. I don't have any retailers that I work with out here, which I kind of said I didn't want to take on any retailers, but I will say after being here for a month and I'm doing stuff in my office, you start to want to merchandise with your hands again. You start to
100%.
Like I miss mixing things up. I miss and it's for me, and I don't know, maybe it's for you too. There's such a rush with when you're doing displays and it's coming out like better than you thought. And you're starting to get so into, you're like, oh my God, like I get so,
you're just like, this is so exciting.
Oh my God, it looks so good. So I'm starting to really miss that now. And I'm like, okay, looking at my calendar, like cause I'm going to go back to California.
Okay, that's good.
Like I'm fly back on the week of St. Patrick's Day. So
Okay.
super excited about going back and just
Are you there for like a week to work?
I'm there. I'm going to hit Lit Concept for 3 days, which is my account. That's a 20,000 square foot. I used to say
That one's huge.
It's huge. And I don't know why I thought it was 200,000 square feet. It's like, what?
Because in your brain, it feels like bread. Like pasta.
Amazing.
No, I don't quantify square feet very often.
I don't. And I just say it out the top of my head. So I'm like, huh. But it's all antiques. It's not all, it's antiques mixed with, and now they're starting to do their own upholstery. And it's this magical place to be able to mix up high and low, new and old, modern, and, antique. It's just all of it. Like, I cannot wait to get into that. And then serendipity. And I think I'm going to go hit my friend Christine has a car wash. It's really well known. I worked with her when she started bringing gifts. I think I'm going to hit the car wash. And
wait, she has a car wash that has gifts?
A lot of car washes do. Oh my God. Oh my God. Like my pharmacy.
Okay. So the only car wash I know about is like Zippy and Brown Bear, and you're in your car and then you drive through and then you go away.
Yeah. It's one, okay. So that's one thing. Living now in the PNW. Yep, I'm calling it the PNW, folks. That they're
I'm so proud of you.
a year into it.
Do you want to get into it? If you really want to get into it, you do upper left.
Upper left? Oh, okay.
Upper left. You might say.
Down.
I'll get you down okay, never mind. That's another comment. We'll do that later.
All the vernacular terms. That is one thing I've realized here. Like, okay, there's 3 things about living in the PNW that is coming from LA and California is very challenging to get used to.
Yeah.
Walking into any manicure salon and going, hey, can I get a manicure and pedicure? Yeah, sure. Pick your color. 10 minutes, maybe.
Right.
There's hardly any here.
Mm-hmm.
And then once the sun comes out, like the sun came out today, everyone, their brother goes outside. Everyone's in shorts. Everyone's like outside. Everyone is getting manicure and pedicures. And the first dates to get manicures and pedicures now are like a month out. That's number one.
Also, when the sun comes out, everyone goes and gets their car wash. Speaking of car washes.
That's exactly where I'm going. Number 2 is car washes where you can drive in, you leave your keys in the car, they drive off with it, they go
Seriously?
Vacuum it. Well, we don't have it here.
No, I know, but I've never heard of this before.
Oh my God. Like there's amazing like Christine's car wash is in, I guess it's Sepulveda. I don't know if it's West LA or Color City, but you drive up, the guys, what flavor, what scent do you want in your car?
Yeah.
Okay, you want polished, you want this, blah, blah. The car goes in, drives through, it comes out the other side, and someone gets in and vacuums it all, like amazing, like Armor Alls all inside, your seats. Yeah. The dash, does all of your windows. I mean, your car, and does your rims. Like your car looks amazing, and it's like it's not expensive. It's not a detail job.
Right. But it's just a clean.
Here, you drive through it, and you go and vacuum your car. And they live in California as well, but I also realized because your car is in such shit condition from all the rain and the snow and driving through mud, stuff like that. Like, I don't know if those car washes would actually work here, but the car washes in California, they much like, okay, a grocery store that walks you through gifts first, or Cracker Barrel that walks you through.
Yeah.
You walk in from the parking where you've dropped your car off, and you walk into most of the time, rows and rows and rows of cards. Like it's the best place to buy gift cards or like birthday cards and whatnot ever. And then really good, like smart car washes do like she does. She sells Voluspa. She sells like cookbooks. She sells tabletop items because much like a pharmacy, it's this, you are there for X amount of time. What else?
So you're wandering around.
Yeah. Wandering around.
That's huge. That's crazy. This is the first time I've ever heard of this.
That's crazy. And now that I live here, now I'm realizing, Okay, so and the third thing that we don't have here is also where manicure, pedicure, car wash, and massages. Like everyone in California is like
Yeah, a masseuse of some sort.
and even the cheapy ones. Like I love myself a good, like inexpensive, like there was a place by us in Redondo called Chinese Happy Feet, and it's not glamorous. It's not put on.
You just like,
It is the best.
yeah.
Like massage. You're in a room with a bunch of people, so you don't get all naked and everything. Like, but it is hot stone, like hour and a half, $50. $50. And I would do that just to keep up with physical because our jobs are so physical.
Yeah,
But
I so need a massage. I've been thinking about it every day. And for some reason, I haven't called my gal.
I haven't either. Jess just texted me and said she was going in for a now massage in 80 minutes. I'm like,
I need to text my gal. I have a lady here. What I love, the woman who I do massage here with, it's in the senior citizen center, which is hysterical. So she texted me the address. I was like, okay, I get there. And I'm like, this is like the senior citizens community center. No, it's like, yes, it works. So I get out and I walk in and like the first floor is this whole really cool like communities like center that they do Meals on Wheels out of and this and this and that. And they have like art on the walls. But then she just happens to have like a little office upstairs. She must rent out space upstairs. It just cracked me up. I was like, I'll just go to the senior citizen center for my massage.
it's probably really
love it. I know it is. It is really good. Now I want one right now. Yeah.
Are you okay? So I want to talk a little bit about, because I'm not doing retail here. I want to. So
same here.
So I can get my hands in. You were doing like a little bit of a retail situation that was consigned.
It was.
Because tell everyone about your little side hustle and give the name also so people can follow you, because you have insane taste. And when we did the Loyal West job, I will say this, you being where you are,
yeah,
there's so many more it's older. It's an generationally older area in the sense of like historical homes and there, which equals a lot more antiques than say on the West Coast and what usually go back east to get them on top. And you found some of the most insane pieces for the Loyal West project. And like, it was nothing. So tell everyone about your side hustle, because I'm obsessed with it.
I love that you are. Thank you. So yeah, I just, a side note is that because I'm always scrolling through Facebook Marketplace looking for something, currently dining chairs, and I see all these suitcases. I'm like, oh man, do we need vintage suitcases for another project? I could get so many. Yeah, so my side hustle is called Lanyap House, and lanyap is a word that is primarily only used in New Orleans, and New Orleans is very special to me. I went to Belize to live there, went to school there, met my husband there. We'll be there next month twice. It's going to be fun. So,
what does it mean?
So lanyap is a fun little term that means a little something extra.
Oh, cute.
And so it is. So, for example, one of my favorite little realizations, and that is not my dog. If you hear a dog barking, that was our neighbor's dog. I don't know if you hear it. It's, on the street of terriers. One of the best examples of lanyap is, let's say you go to Cafe Du Monde and you get beignets, and they always give you beignets in threes. You get 3 beignets. Maybe you get a 4th one. That's lanyap. You got a little something extra there. I love that. There's a lot of fun little ways you can use it.
I love it for
I see it as being, lanyap house, kind of the idea that, retail, and we've talked about this before, a little something, just a little something extra. And that's what I love. So it has a lot of, I love the term. I love what it stands for. And also, it's personal to me. So lanyap house. So when I was in Seattle, I started, and it was pandemic. It was coming out of the pandemic, but we were still pretty pandemic-y, right? I started going to estate sales more, and it was a way to
get out of the house, interact with people, but it was a pretty
weird because you were just coming out of it.
Yeah, but it was a fairly controlled situation. So you'd show up, you'd still have your mask on, but you'd be standing in line outside to get into an estate sale. I've always loved estate sales, but then I really just was jazzed by them. I was like, oh my God. And like, you'd be talking to people while waiting in line, and it's 7 a.m. And I couldn't believe I was getting up that early for anything. And like, I would see an estate sale, and I'd see the photos. I'm like, I'm going. It's like, see you later. I get my coffee and
the site that you follow.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
It's estatesales.net, and they have an app even, and it's a really basic site, and you can see whoever is running estate sales, they're obviously listing on that site. And you can also see nationally. So if you are maybe just visiting an area, you can see what, estate sales are in that area. And I've done that. It's super fun.
Estatesales.net.
Net. Yep.
Literally writing it down.
No, but they have an app. They have like a legit working app, and it's great. And then, you'll find, especially in your area, estate sales that might be, you like the way they're run or how they're priced. And so then follow up with them, get on their mailing lists, and they'll send you emails and stuff.
Oh, okay.
No, so I started doing that, and then I was buying things. I was seeing things I wanted, but I was like, I don't need them. But God, I would be just like, someone needs these. Like, these are fantastic things. And so I was like, well, I need to sell these. And so it was in Seattle. I started doing more of the flea market thing or vintage markets, set up tents, and it was good there for me. Exhausting, but good. And when we moved to Savannah, and I took a lot of the stuff with me. I didn't take everything with me, but I'm moving with inventory and, dishes. I have a deep love of tabletop, as so do you. But so most of my items are tabletop and home. And so anything kind of food, tabletop, home related, moving with heavy dishes is ridiculous, but we got here. And I did a few, tent fair things here. It wasn't it didn't have the same effect. It's also really hot. It's like, oh yeah, guess what? It's warm outside. Not everybody wants to go hang out outside when it's, 90 degrees and humid. So it doesn't have the same effect. So it was finding ways I'm still looking for ways to kind of make that happen here. So you were mentioning I paired up with, for a little while I was working, had my things in a great little store. The store is called Good, and the gal, she sells really high-end curated consigned fashion, or fashion. I shouldn't say consigned fashion because she sells it all. She works in fashion, so she'll sell a lot of really high-end brands of fashion and things like that. So I had my things in her store for a while. That was fun. But now just sort of, I'm not there anymore. So now just sort of finding the right space for it. I have some stuff on Etsy. I just sold like $700 worth of flatware on Etsy.
Wow. So, okay.
Yeah.
With
that was a long ramble.
Is that a lot of, is it a lot of work to do on Etsy? Because I know there's people that have that as a full job. I've done it a couple times, and I lose my, I'm so ADD, and
it's work. I was like, oh, this is hard. This is not an easy. I'm sure if you like get it down to some rhythm where you're just, hammering it out, but it takes work. It's taking photos of taking photos of your items, which you think, oh, I just take a photo of it. No, it's got to be a good photo.
I was like, are you lifestyling it?
A little bit, but then you really just need to, be like, if I was buying it, I want to see like every angle of it, right? I want correct dimensions. It takes time. It is. And sometimes I don't have the patience, which is really bad, which is why I love in-person retail, because I'm not having to give you dimensions for something to look.
Yeah. Well, for those who are listening, I've talked about it before. Like I have this love-hate of me having my own store. Like,
oh, same here.
My old stores, I love them.
Mm-hmm.
I went through bankruptcy. Like I lost my shirt and I lost pretty much everything. It was an amazing experience. I mean, literally, it truly is why I'm able to do what I do now. But there is something I miss about curating and doing my own displays in my store. But in the back of my head, it's like, you know, if I did a store, we talked about us doing a store, which I still think is something we should do. The part for me, and I'm sure every single owner can justify or to nod to this, is it's going to the same place every single day.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the reason how I can get around this is that we travel for work. So it would be having a strong manager that's there that has your back when you're not in town. And I think it's sort of scary. It's like, what happens if someone calls your store or calls and says, oh yeah, hey, I'm not coming back. Like, I'm a job, or I'm going to go on vacation now. Bye. Oh no, I'm not going to close the store up. And we're in Atlanta. Like that's, I think, the part that scares me the most about having a store again that has to be open,
all the time.
That is how you make money, is by being there. Yeah, it is. I would want so badly to give to people what I see in my head and what I want to share with, the way of products and experience. Like for me, and I know for you too, it's like a retail is such an experience. It's like, I want you in here and I want you to feel like, you get giddy. You're excited. I want you to feel the way I feel when I go into a retail store that I love, that you could walk around in circles for multiple times because you haven't seen everything, or that you get inspired to do something because of the products you see.
Yeah.
Or, it sparks your own imagination and interest. And then, and then you're like, you'll come back because you're going to see something different and fun, and it makes you happy. And there's something joyful, this past month, and it's a word that I don't feel like I've ever used or I've rolled my eyes at, but joy truly is.
Swear to God, I have said, I said that about the CMA job, that there was something, what I do and what you do, what we do. Mm-hmm. I love what I do. Even in the worst situations, when I'm in the moment and merchandising and designing and when things start to come together and it's that beautiful mix of like, oh my God, this plant with these dishes, with this food product, and like, yummy it turns out. And then you start layering in the props, a loaf of bread, fresh herbs. Like that is what gets me. And that gets me so excited. But that is also what gives me such joy. And yeah, I think that's the reason why I miss and want to have my hands busy.
100%. Like it. Okay, yesterday I went out and did a little, my own retail therapy, bought a pair of shoes. So there's two stores in particular on this one street in Savannah. It's called Broughton Street. And Broughton Street, if anybody's been here, is sort of the shopping street in Savannah. There's also, like the Gap and whatnot too on that street too. But it's kind of like a very touristy, fun shopping street. But I don't always love going down it because of that. Sometimes you're just like, I want something quieter. But there are two stores in particular that I will go to that street for. And one is the Globe shoe store, which guaranteed if you step in, you've already agreed to buy shoes. You're coming out with shoes. You can't go in and not buy shoes because it is that good. And they service you so well there. And you go in there, and if you're lucky, you get Miss Ruby, and Miss Ruby's going to sit you down and you will leave with shoes. If you don't get Miss Ruby, that's fine. You'll get someone else. And I had this wonderful gal, but so it left a pair of shoes. I knew it. But then there's a wonderful, wonderful store that's sort of the, like sometimes I'll refer to like someone as like being like the grandfather of retail in,
to me, they're kind of like the grandmother, I guess, of retail in Savannah. It's called Paris Market. And it is a beautiful store. And most people, when they visited Savannah, probably have managed to visit the store. They're in this prime location. So I was like, I got to go see Paris Market. Seasons changed. I want to see what they do. They always do really beautiful windows. It's in a 2-story old building. They have a little coffee shop attached to it, so you can get your little French coffee and feel very Parisian. You always have good music playing. Saw lots of familiar brands, and also just lots of other wonderful things. But I go in there and I'm just immediately like, can I like please start merchandising immediately? Like, I really want to start touching their things. Pass around. They do a wonderful job, but I want to be a part of it. I'm just like, I want to be, and I always take pictures to get ideas of how to merchandise things or what fun new products they have to put together with others. I'm just like, oh, I love it. Love it, love it, love it.
Really, honestly, I think the more we talk about this, I think we start talking it out on this show as far as what retail looks like for us. Because what I came away with, one of the things with the CMA, that sink Dave built that everyone's freaking out about. I'm like,
yeah,
how amazing would that be on like an old reclaimed pitcher with the big stone sink, and have that be the food section up against? I mean, okay, 2 things from that setup that I came away with that I'm like, I need to use somewhere else again, is that sink and that one stick backsplash tile that we did on the table. And Lauren Spencer.
That was such an easy thing that I'm like, oh my God, yes, of course. Use that and put it on a flipping table, and it turns a dumb table that you're probably going to get rid of into something brand new.
But I watched the video, and I don't know how, I mean, talk about the internet's always, or your phone's always listening to you. I don't know how
many tile advertisements are we going to get now after this?
A guy was using that same tile pieces and did his shower and bathroom with it. So I guess it's completely waterproof. And it was this inky blue. And I'm like,
right.
Oh my God. Those are 2 things I came away with that I want to do
somehow. That's the thing. It's like to be able to like take it. And so just like, so the listeners to remember that, it was something that Ron had worked on. It was a table that he was doing. It was jewelry, and it just needed layers. It needed more layering, right? Because we had the hard table, the hard jewelry, the hard this. And it was the peel and stick tile, the super easy peasy, like, very thin. It was like a pretty pink, which, by the way, that is the pink that I'm thinking for my office, or maybe made it as a pretty pink, and it was peel and stick on the table, and it absolutely changed the whole entire vibe.
I mean, even
so easy to do.
That table was beautiful in its own, but she had used that for the past 2 shows. That was her table, and the whole point of when we do these setups or retail is making older stuff look, so you're not having to invest in more furniture. And that peel and stick stuff is the best fix ever. I mean, because you could take a cheap IKEA table that's still pretty well.
Yeah, just sturdy, but you're tired of the top. And
And another trick too, which we didn't use on this job, I used it, I think I used it in Sales Producers, is table legs from IKEA or table legs from Amazon, or like getting a piece of we did butcher block, which is at different sizes, and want a piece of butcher block. And then there's so many cool table legs that are inexpensive, and you can get these rad tables. And same thing as like building architecture, do smaller
exactly for table toppers, and you can get little itty bitty, the little sofa legs almost, right? And to prop up. And
there's some like, I mean, those are things that now it's like I start thinking about, like, God, like now if we do a store, or for retail are listening, there's so many inexpensive things that you could do that are so impactful.
Yes. I know. When I look by, we go out for walks and I see retail spaces all the time. I'm like, like open retail spaces too. I'm like,
What are retail? What are like?
Not cheap. Once upon a time they were cheap until a lot of people found Savannah and decided they also wanted to invest in Savannah, which is great.
Yeah.
But we all know how that is, that, things retail creeps up. So we'll take Broughton Street, for example, the shopping street. I mean, you are looking at retail spaces close to 10,000 a month there.
And I'm sure every retailer is like, yeah, that sounds about right.
But then, so you push yourself maybe into the historic district, depending on where, further south in the historic district. Yeah, you're looking at okay, maybe under 10, but somewhere between, let's say, 5 and 8,000 a month. And then you start going further out, and maybe you're into 2,000 a month. That's, okay. All right. But are you too far out? Are you, what? Okay, here's a great question, and you will know this, and people listening is location, it's not, what draws people in? And for me, I sit there and I'm like, well, it's food and drink is always a classic, right?
But I think though you could have a store that's off the beaten track, but I think it's all about the experience. It's all about products. It's all about the customer service. It's all about that, as well as your social media presence. I think all of that plays in, because I think, especially where I am, you're talking about shopping and I'm totally drooling because I am in an area that I'm in Medford. It's very industrial. It's very urban. It's not urban. It's very, the spawning lands and rural. And the 3 shopping places we have here are Target, Walmart, and Fred Meyer. And Fred Meyer is cool because you can go and do your grocery shopping and get everything from a diamond to pet food to your kids' shoes to I mean, it's a bizarre retail situation, but it's not
a shopping thing. It's a different version of Target.
And at Ashland, I guess everyone knows, not everyone, but the gift industry knows the store Prize. It's super well known. It's this beautiful French store. I still have not been to it. We drove by it the other day. I still want to go. That's the closest thing I feel like. And this other store.
That's a great store.
I'm trying to remember the other store's name because she's downtown Ashland as well. And it's my favorite store because it's this beautiful mix of rustic with air plants and feathers and this very bohemian jewelry and bohem candles and it's this yummy, and all their fixturing are old pharmacy counters, and it's but there is not a lot of that here, and I am so desperate for
getting some retail deliciousness. That Prize shop or Prize store, the one thing I remember so well from there, because I've been there, is they make, or I don't know if they do it still, were vintage Hermes scarves or things like that turned into pillows, and they were gorgeous. They were
I've got, I mean,
I was ready to drop, money on. I was like, what am I going to do with this? I'm like, I don't care. It's $400 so pillow situation. Yes. Thank you very much.
What happened in this household, by the way? What
I know. The dog would attack it. It had to be a pillow on a shelf.
Oh my God. The pillows I got, we got some sample pillows, and
those are rocking. I love them.
They're amazing. And they're already smashed down from Matilda, crawls up on them and turns into a nest. But I need some retail therapy for sure. But, in hearing you talk about that, it's making me just
yes.
I think we need to figure out how to do.
Well, yes. Well, I think you and I, we need to figure out a time where we can go to New York together. And then also a time when we can go to Round Top together.
That's coming up.
Want to go to
one of the DMs. What is Round Top?
No, I said, when is it coming up?
I just got a DM from somebody I worked with in California, and I think
I want to go so bad.
Let me see. For those of you, I can't imagine that you don't know what Round Top is, but for those of you who don't know, it is,
Deep in the heart of Texas.
It is March 22nd, April through April 5th. And it is I've heard miles, but for sure it's blocks and blocks and blocks of, it's like a giant garage sale. And then also like Junk Gypsies have like their store now, and they have an Airbnb.
Like specialty tents and everything.
It is like, that is so, and literally Lydia just sent me that, that ad board. I'm like, I need to. And she's like, yeah, you do. So that's
March 22nd. I mean, so I could drive there, but that would be like a 2-day drive.
I after driving 10 hours from Las Vegas, not even 2 days of 10-hour drivings from Las Vegas to, Oregon. I cannot say I'm really anxious to get into a car for a couple days. I might have to like fly in for that one.
One of the other things I was going to say, or just talking about retail and things, the other thing when I think about having a store is the idea, if it's done well, it's done right, is a collective, a semi, interesting collective. Okay, so there's this store here in Savannah, and what's the name of it? Okay, I'm going to find it in a minute. It's a really sweet little setup. Pardon me while I look at the same time. So it's in an old house, and they have rooms in the house that are their own little stores.
That'd be amazing.
It's super sweet. I was like, what a great idea.
Well, I mean, I just interviewed yesterday that So Andrew, he did a pop-up shop. He bought a building in his hometown, which is a small town in Washington.
Yeah.
And he was super transparent about numbers and his rent and his ROI, and like that's why we wanted to do all of that, announced it on the podcast. And it's like he did it his products, and then he had people come in and do consignment. And I really truly think that is kind of the way of what retail is going to look like, because look at the Mojave flea market, or at the Mojave trading post in Palm Springs, the Joshua Tree group. I mean, and if it's well curated and it doesn't feel like it's all choppy like a antique mall, I think that's the way to go.
I do too. Okay, here it is. It's called One for the Road. Is the just look it up here, right? That's it. One for the Road.
Looking it up right now.
For the Road. Okay. So they kind of tout themselves mini mart, mini shop. They have a little bit of grocery and stuff in there. It's kind of fun. You walk in and you're walking into the living room, right? And then they have a little area in there, and then you look to your left, and then there's a small little store within that room to your left. Go down the hallway, another little store, and they have their signs sticking out into the hallway. You feel like you're just in a little miniature world there.
I'm looking at their Instagram right now.
Yeah.
So cute.
Yeah. It's very homegrown. It's really cool. There's a gal who does jewelry there called Tribe and Temple, and she has the first room on the left. You just walk into her shop, and it's probably
groceries cute.
150 square feet, maybe 250 square feet of shop.
I wish they sold more gourmet foods. She's showing Marie Callender's chicken pot pie soup.
Okay. It's like a little bit, no, you're right. And they do have kind of up in the front a bit more like some gourmet items. I see the Marie Callender's, yeah. Because they have like it's like a little mini mart as well.
I love that idea though. I mean, it's like, we want you to have Soberish in Atlanta with the most amazing, well curated, shout out to Soberish. We love your store. Like, so well curated. It's all because THC is not legal in Atlanta, but it's CBD and hemp derived THC is. So that's why they call it Sober-ish. So she sells hemp gummies and THC / hemp gummies and drinks, as well as
a whole bunch of also like NA drinks that are just, cool, because that industry is blown up with the whole idea of just sort of like low alcohol or no alcohol drinks or elixirs of sorts.
Yeah. What about that? Like, think about like a soberish and then a little space that sells all these great gourmet foods and then a whole room of tabletop
and flowers. I so want
flowers, apparel.
Yep.
Like
I mean,
okay, we are on something with this.
There is a space in the city that I have my eye on that I've yet to like email because they'll probably say it's like $5 million and needs $5 million worth of $5 million. You know, the number of 5 million.
Oh my God. Well,
that I just did it. Something that people come in, they sit down, they have coffee, little something, they go shop, they're doing shopping, they spend time there, maybe they have something to eat later, they have wine in the evening. It's a place where music plays. I mean, there's
interactive.
I want a community.
It's interactive that creates community, which I love. And I think that you could have a space off a beaten trail.
Yeah.
Because word of mouth, let's face it, word of mouth is hands down the best advertisement ever. And that's, honestly, like, you do that as people start hearing about you, and then you combine it with your customer service, your products, your space, the interactive part of it, and your social media. I think that that's a win-win. I think we start talking about this more.
I agree.
I'm heading us into past an hour.
Okay.
For everyone who's been listening, thank you. We are going to talk more about this, but we are also going to get into holiday displays that we're inspired by. We're heading into April.
Our warm-up act. We're getting...
You guys get a chance to get to know us and how we interact, as well as some of the conversation behind the scenes of what we've been talking about. And I think as things go on, I think the conversation is going to become even more layered as far as some personal, some stuff what's going on, but also what we're seeing that we love in retail, just like the conversation we just mentioned, and displays that we saw that we love, and all of the conversations that I love to have with merchandisers. That's what this is going to be about. And it's my friend. And it's like, I can't imagine a better way to spend an hour and a half shooting the shit, chit-chatting about merchandising, design, and display.
I love it. I can't wait. And I really, when we talk about merchants and stuff that that we're visiting, that we really enjoy, when the episodes get posted, we'll make sure to tag those people so you can check out their Instagrams and see what they're doing. Or if like there's certain photos that we're sharing, we should find a way to share them with the audience too.
I think we can do that on the website. That's what, because I think for me, I'm visual. So I think that's the reason why, oddly, the YouTube channel is growing and more people are watching it, which I was like, I didn't know people were going to want to watch it because but people are visual. And it's like, if we are having this conversation and we're talking about things and, oh my gosh, I just found this, or here's a picture of this. Yes. I'll have Danielle, I'll find out from Danielle. I'm sure we can post it on the Retail Whore Podcast website, and then we'll have photos and then we'll have links to all these stores that we're talking about. And again, like, there's not a tab now, but if you're hearing this and the tab is not up yet, if you want to DM me on the Retail Whore Podcast Instagram site, DM me and throw out any questions you might have.
I would love questions. I would love to answer merchandise.
Give your Instagram, please, both of your Instagrams for you, as well as your land
house. I'm going to get you to say the word. Lanyap house. We'll go to New Orleans too. It'll be fun.
And we'll have links in that too. So what's your other Instagram?
Oh, is Rue Patois. Oh my God. I know I'm the Instagram of words that are difficult to say, but Rue Patois. So that's where all my work is, where all my merchandising work sits, like photos of things I've done. And that's
And Lanyapain, is that
And Lanyap House is
Lanyap House is all of her vintage pieces, which I will say you have such a good eye. It's like, and you can inquire her for her vintage pieces and DM her through that as well. Cause that's the one thing that when I was looking at you were posting prices when you were at the Good. And I was like, that's all that is. Like it's not expensive vintage, but you have such a good eye. It's all so incredible. So you can DM.
and vintage items are just, things you're just waiting for the right person to love it again. It goes out into the world and
That's where
finds a right owner. They're like small adoptable items to take out.
small adoptable items. Oh my God. I love you. Thank you. We will see you guys in a month.
I know this will be fun. Looking forward to it.
Thank
Bye.
you.